from the perspective of we Iranians who had a revolution 45 years back and was truly mentioned by Professor, went under sanctions by the United States from 1979 to this date. And we have been under propaganda and misinformation by the mainstream media in the West and elsewhere. It is very important to receive such welcomes, that we can realize that our path and goals have been reached to the people and have been appreciated. I thank you all for that. On the issues in our regional arena, on the issues related to the global south, I can mention one example. The revolution of the Islamic Republic of Iran started by inviting our Ummah and all the people, Muslims and non-Muslims, to be unified. In the sense that we have our own civilization, our own culture and history, and we shall be dependent on our values and principles, which will best provide prosperity for mankind in this world and for the last world, for dunya and akhirah. So we started to invite all governments and people to be unified. Our message reached to the corners of the world. Then the Western powers started labeling us as these Iranian terrorists, dictatorship, those who are breaching human rights, etc. and etc. For the last 45 years, we have been supporting suppressed people around the globe. When it comes to Palestine, we have been supporting Palestinians. Now, at this moment of the history, we have a body of resistant groups. Despite all sanctions and financial problems we were facing because of that, but we shared our brothers and sisters around the region with our financial, technical, and in case military support. We try to empower the people so that they can resist for their causes. No optimistic expert could have predicted 10 years back, 5 years back, that if one day Israeli forces start attacking Gaza, the people will be able to resist. And besides, from other resistant groups, they will receive actions. So it is not an easy job. You see the strong brothers in Yemen, in Lebanon, in Palestine, in Iraq are defending the cause of Palestine. When the majority Shia Iran has started supporting the the people in the region, the Westerners try to label it again as these Iranians are after creating a crescent of Shia, an arc of Shia in the region. They wanted to label it as we are against the interests of Sunni brothers in the region. Now, Iran is standing with other resistant groups, is supporting Sunni brothers in Palestine. But we are expecting from other governments in the region who are not under any pressure to stand with them. But as you see, even in some cases, the Palestinian people are deprived even from oral support or statements by so many governments in our region. When we see such sincere and kind statements, when we see the endeavors of brothers here in Bangalore for convening and setting up this session and function, so we will be happy that we have been appreciated by you brothers. Finally, the people of the world came to know that the Iranians are not the evils. And I explained in other sessions these days that the only reason was that we Iranians wanted to make our destinations by ourselves, not by any other foreign countries. I'm sure India is a very good example of independence. You, for a long time, you have been under the control by Brits. Your resources were used for their purposes, and after that, then this nation was able to be independent and make a very strong nation. And we are praying and cooperating that this nation will be able to be among the most powerful nations in the world, inshallah. So we are reaching to Azan time. I don't want to take your time. Again, I thank each and every one of you for coming together for the remembrance of the Iranian late President and Prime Minister and other friends. And I thank you again for organizing this. We appreciate that. May Allah keep you and all your families and friends safe and prosperous. Thank you. By your kind and sincere comments and words on the tragic incident which claimed the life of the Iranian beloved president and the prestigious and distinguished Prime Minister and other those officials and friends who lost their lives in that accident. Normally, in such occasions, the people expect me to speak a little bit about this gentleman who passed away. But very good speeches and lectures were delivered. My friends went through details about their personalities, their roles, their contribution to the unity of Muslims and oppressed people. So I'm thankful to all of them, and I will leave it there. I just we'll be trying to give some points regarding the Iranian role and perspective in the arena of foreign policy in the world. So you know that we have a world, we have been framed and shaped based on the concepts and this decisions made by those superpowers or powers who won World War II. We have so many institutions which have been running the world. You have the white people, they are the good people, and there are the non-white people, which are always bad. They know, they introduce the peace, the humanity, the democracy, so they intend to be the best. So the Iranian Revolution was a sort of earthquake in the region and beyond. The Iranian government, I would say that time before revolution, was named as the gendarme of the region or the island of the stability. The Iranian establishment in that time before revolution was playing a role for the interests of the Western countries, especially US and Britain. So we were supported financially, economically, militarily, while we had, of course, enormous resources of oil and all. Of course, you know, in the region, Iran entails a very good population regarding, comparing to the countries in the region, comparing to those small Arab countries around us, neighboring countries. And of course, a very good area, I would say, very good civilization. So they thought that if they can control Iran, they will control the region. So the revolution of Iran happened, and the leaders of Iran at that time, Hazrat Imam Khomeini and his followers, actually presented a new system of government. First of all, they said that we want to be independent. We make our own decisions based on our interests. We have the history, we have the civilization, the cultures, we have the resources. So it will be wise for a nation like that to make their decisions. Plus, we tried to deliver this message to the world. In Farsi, we call it, in that time it was called Sudur-e-Inqilab. Oh, you want to export? Huh? You want to expand the Shia mindset? You want to make Sunni brothers Shia, or you want to do this, do that? It was not our intention, of course. To be honest, you wouldn't hear from any Iranian official or think tanks like that that we want to make brothers and Sunni brothers Shia. It's impossible, I would say. We just wanted to say that all other, my brother said, 57 other Muslim nations, they come to the understanding that, so if we say that we have this beautiful religion, we have this Holy Quran with all instructions and verses, which always suggests to have peace, to live with unity with other human beings, then why not we follow that? when it comes to the values regarding family, regarding society. So we have the best presentations. So the first thing was we wanted to be independent. The second thing, we said that it is written in our constitution that the Iranian government shall be the voice of the voiceless people. We shall support oppressed people all over the world. So at that time we started supporting Palestinian people, and we were against that apartheid regime in South Africa. We had very good contact with the late Nelson Mandela. We supported. So you remember when Nelson Mandela visited Iran, he called the Iranian leader as his leader. He said that you are our leader as well. And we follow the policy of a sort of negative balance policy. We said neither west nor east. In that time it meant that we do not want to follow liberalism of the west nor east socialism or communism of east. Again, we have our school of thought. We didn't mean that we don't want to have relations with these countries, I mean in East and West. So we just wanted to say that we are following the Islam's principles. So we could have our school for, I don't know, policy making, for economy, for culture, for society, for whatever. But we went under sanctions from the beginning. So we went under an 8-year war by Saddam Hussein against us, supported by all Western countries again, even by Soviet Union in that time. They supported them. So many Arab countries supported Saddam financially, militarily. So, but we were able to resist. We had some successes, some defeats, and so we came to a peace agreement, and that was done. After that, the Iranian development started. So we had these resources. We wanted to develop Iran, which has been successful. Those brothers who have been to Iran, they say that we compare Iran with a sort of European country, developed-wise, infrastructures, roads, electricity, water, you know, they have made it for the public in the best way. The Iranian system is working like this. There is a leader above, which is elected by some experts, which those experts are elected again by people, okay? The leader, one of the leader's responsibilities is to declare grand policies of Iran. Grand policies will be made by the leader. So it doesn't make any difference who is the president of Iran. Besides, the Iranian military is under the leader's authority. So the heads of the general staff, all sorts of military powers, will be appointed by the leader. So it is again being chosen wisely, because the governments found gold. Some governments in Iran tend to work with West, some tend to work with East. But as I said, the grand policies shall not be attached. So you hear many things these days about praising Ayatollah Raisi's action or reaction toward Israel, that true promise attack from Iranian territory to the occupied territories of Palestine against this Israeli regime. The point is here that the instruction issued by the leader and not the president. Okay? But what matters here to be mentioned is that the role of President Raisi and his ministers and team was that they were in line with the leader's intentions and policies. They supported a lot.
We have this experience to be on the negotiating table with the United States and others for a long time, actually. We are not a sort of totalitarian regime, I mean, dictatorship like that. It's the people who will be the president. In some cases, Iranians decided to bring one president to office so that he will start negotiations and solve issues with West. We have heard from the leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, that the US will not comply with their commitments. He said that we have tried it a lot. And during that JCPOA agreement deal, this was finalized between Iran and West. So we witnessed later different time in these public speeches that said that, look, he was speaking to the people, of course, and to the government that they are not complying. We are losing time. When President Raisi came to office, and before, in his election speeches, he said that we will not leave the negotiating table, but we will not connect or tie up the normal life of people to the negotiating table. Right? Because in that time they were in the process of negotiating. When bad news came out that they failed in this term of negotiation, then we would witnessing fluctuations in Iranian markets. The business people were afraid because they couldn't predict the future. Dr. Raisi said that, okay, we will continue this negotiation. We will not afraid of negotiations or discussions like that, but we will not connect it to the life of people. So I mentioned in other functions as well that before Ayatollah Raisi's government, due to sanctions, the number of Iranian export of crude oil decreased to 400 barrels per day, which was not enough for Iranian population. These days, we have reached to 2 million barrels per day, which is the number we had before sanctions. So, the reserves of Iran is equipped with foreign currencies. We sell oil, we get the money. The economic situation is stable. The people can anticipate the future. They can predict what to do for next steps. This is the main role, I suppose. As I told you, he stood in line with the leader. He always said that I am a soldier. So it is important for a country like Iran, which is standing against all powers in the world. I believe that they did many good things, the president and prime minister, especially when we come to this situation in Gaza, Rafah, and Palestine, which is really heartbreaking. I myself cannot watch any more footages and clips in Gaza. It is impossible, really. For 1 month or two, we witnessed so many footages. It is for us impossible. How many children killed, murdered, mutilated, I don't know. It's impossible for us. But these people, gentlemen, did their best to be in contact with leaders. They did so many visits, travels to support these people actually. But again, I would say, so in our beliefs, we say that if somebody has a sort of ikhlas in his deeds, then when it is accepted by God, God will give barakat to that. I think it is the reason that everybody is mentioning the Iranian president, even in West, even in United Nations, you see how the reactions was. And we were shocked actually, we couldn't believe that we would get so many reactions, good positive reactions. Two or three things regarding the unity among Muslims and like that. So, of course, the best suggestion for the world is that all of more than 200 countries in the world will be united with good beliefs for the betterness of the lives of the mankind. It has not been successful yet. Why? As I told you, because I understand there is a global north which wants to keep the dominance over all resources. If they do not have access to the resources in global south, they will not be able to survive. Maybe they can manage for 1 year, 2 years, but after that, everything will collapse. If it is not the crude oils of the Arab countries in our region, how the economy of the world will survive? So the best option is that all nations will be united for good reason. Unfortunately, impossible. Then we come to the global south. So some friends mentioned that unity among Muslims. So we as a Muslim country have been working for that hard. We have so many institutions for that, inviting many scholars to Iran each year for this purpose. We have a very big organization for that, to support the unity among Muslims. But from one side, we have the nations and we have the governments. The architecture of the region, the foreign policy of the region, the geopolitical architecture have been designed by Western, mainly by the United States. Whomever is in power, whether in our region or beyond, has been endorsed or approved in the circles in West. There are so many videos you can find out on YouTube and elsewhere, which they disclosed it. I mean, the circles disclose it that it's us who will decide who is the president in France, who is the prime minister in the United Kingdom. You look at the United States. From one side, you have the Trump. From other side, you have Biden, right? One is a crazy, everybody afraid of, Trump, I mean, right? The other is an old man who is speaking to the jinns. And it is interesting to remind us, look, the biggest democracy in the world, the most powerful in the world, their nation do not have the third option, any other option to choose. This is why, again, because as I told you, there are circles who will decide. Because they choose somebody else, they will be afraid that maybe another path will be taken. So, we are the global south. From my point of view, India holds a very main role in this. And really, we hope, we pray, and we expect that Indian government will make good policies, good decisions for the betterness of the people of South, which they have made, of course, but they will be, we are expecting better and more. So that we can abolish the oppression against our people. course, we have Muslim countries as well. So brother said that all Muslim countries withdraw from the United Nations. That's a big decision to make. They cannot make that. They did not open the borders to the Palestinian people so that we will be able to send them foods and medicine, brother. Okay? Who can threat? No, it's if we are the Muslim countries now, we can announce it. But we are not the leaders that are appointed. You know? Leaders. Look, I said this example again. Yesterday, I suppose, I said about Egypt. The civilization of Egypt, nobody doubts. Right? Most of the stories in Quran, they will not let you work. But we are happy these days that at least the nations of the world came to realize that we are not promoting the terrorism. They said that you Iranians are terrorists. You see? Now we hear from universities in the West, in US, that the students supporting the Palestinians, which it doesn't matter they are Muslim or not Muslim. I would say if even they were Jews, even maybe they were Israelis, okay, the Muslims will not be happy to witness them be murdered in brutality. So, may Allah keep you and your families safe and sound. Inshallah, we will be witnessing the prosperity of the Indian people, Muslims around the world, and the people living in Global South. We will be hopeful and we will do our best to make future a better place for the people of the world. Thank you so much.
ईरान के सदर सैयद इब्राहिम रईसी और चंद दीगर अहबाब की हेलीकॉप्टर हादसे में हुई मौत के बाद पूरी दुनिया में ताज़ियत, दुख और दर्द का रंजो अलम का इजहार किया जा रहा है। कर्नाटक के दारुल हुकूमत बेंगलुरु में भी याद शहदा मनाते हुए आयतुल्लाह इब्राहिम रईसी और हादसे का शिकार होने वाले दीगर अहबाब को खिराज अकीदत पेश किया गया। बेंगलुरु के गुलिस्तान शादी महल में तहफ़्फ़ुज़ औक़ाफ़ कमेटी और जुमा मस्जिद ट्रस्ट बोर्ड के तहत कल यानी 1 जून 2024 हफ्ते की शाम ताज़ियती इजलास मुनक़द हुआ। इस इजलास में हैदराबाद से आए ईरानी सिफारत खाने के कौंसल जनरल आगा महदी शाहरुखी ने मेहमान खुसूसी के तौर पर शिरकत की। आगा महदी शाहरुखी ने ताज़ियती इजलास के इनाक़ाद पर मुंतज़मीन का शुक्रिया अदा करते हुए कहा कि सैयद इब्राहिम रईसी और चंद दीगर अहदेदारों का अचानक इस दुनिया से चले जाना ईरान के लिए और पूरी दुनिया के लिए एक बड़ा नुकसान है, एक बड़ा खसारा है। इस मौके पर आगा महदी शाहरुखी ने अपनी तकरीर में ईरान की खारजा पॉलिसी, ईरान के सिलसिले में फैलाई जा रही गलत फहमियों, मसले फ़लस्तीन के हल के लिए ईरान की जिदोजहद, इत्तेहाद बैनुल मुस्लिमीन के लिए ईरान की कोशिशों का जिक्र किया। आगा महदी शाहरुखी ने कहा कि ईरान किसी बैरूनी मुल्क के दबाव के बगैर, किसी बैरूनी मुल्क की मुदाखलत के बगैर अपने फैसले खुद करना चाहता है। मगरिबी ममालिक की इजारादारी को कबूल न करते हुए एक खुद मुख्तार मुल्क बनकर उभरना चाहता है। ईरानी कौंसिल जनरल आगा महदी शाहरुखी ने कहा कि इस ज़मन में हिंदुस्तान एक बेहतरीन मिसाल है कि वो एक आज़ाद मुल्क की हैसियत से एक मजबूत ताकतवर मुल्क बनकर उभर रहा है और हिंदुस्तान की मज़ीद तरक्की में ईरान मुकम्मल ताउन फराहम कर रहा है। इस मौके पर इजलास के मुंतज़िम उस्मान शरीफ ने कहा कि तारीख़ी तौर पर देखा जाए तो ईरान और हिंदुस्तान के दरमियान करीबी और दोस्ताना ताल्लुकात रहे हैं मरहूम सैयद इब्राहिम रईसी ने ईरान और हिंदुस्तान के ताल्लुकात को मजीद मजबूत व मुस्तहकम बनाने की कोशिश की। मारूफ आलिम दीन व जुमा मस्जिद के खतीब व इमाम मौलाना शाह अब्दुल वाजिद ने कहा कि ईरानी सदर सैयद इब्राहिम रईसी की मौत नहीं थी, बल्कि वो शहीद हुए हैं। फलस्तीन पर हो रहे जुल्म सितम पर जब पूरी दुनिया खामोश थी तो ईरान के मरहूम सदर सैयद इब्राहिम रईसी ने इसराइल को ललकारा और फलस्तीन के अवाम के हक में और फलस्तीन के मजलूमीन के हक में डटे रहे। मौलाना शाह अब्दुल वाजिद ने कहा कि नवासे रसूल हजरत इमाम हुसैन रजी अल्लाह ताला अन्हु के नक्श कदम पर चलते हुए ईरानी सदर इब्राहिम रईसी ने भी हक व इंसाफ के लिए अपनी जान कुर्बान कर दी। कर्नाटक वक्फ प्रोटेक्शन ज्वाइंट एक्शन कमेटी के सदर दस्तगीर खान ने कहा कि इत्तेहाद यूनिटी न होने के सबब दुनिया भर में मुसलमान नुकसान उठा रहे हैं, लिहाजा मुसलमान इत्तेहाद की ताकत को समझते हुए आगे बढ़ें और हर मसले का सामना मिलजुल कर इत्तेहाद व इत्तेफाक के साथ करें। मारूफ शायर मुनीर अहमद जामी ने इस इजलास की निज़ामत की और शिया सुन्नी मुख्तलिफ तंजीमों के नुमाइंदों ने इस यादगार जलसे में शिरकत की। जुनूबी हिंद न्यूज़ रिपोर्ट।
Welcome, sir. You are attending different condolence meet here in Bangalore. So, what is the message you would like to share to the Bengalurians and particularly to the people of Karnataka?
So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
इमारत के दूसरी पहली मंजिल पर नमाज का इत्तेमाम है, वज़ू वगैरह भी।
So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. For the last couple of days, which the Iranian nation witnessed that tragic accident claiming the lives of our President, Prime Minister and their companions, we have received so many sincere and kind condolence messages, sympathies from friends in India. For the last 2 days, I was invited to Karnataka and to Bangalore. Our brothers and sisters here organized different functions in order to remember the Iranian officials who passed away on the road to service our people. I take this opportunity to thank each and everybody for standing with us, for their solidarity and for their contribution and sympathy. So, in difficult times, friends and families show their roles to support you and stand with you. We will pray for the prosperity and success of the Indian nation, and we will be hopeful that in your better days we will stand with you. So I again take this opportunity to thank my brothers in the Waqf, Karnataka Waqf joint committee and the Juma Masjid for organizing this function. We received many beautiful words on the remembrance of our president and the roles they made to service the Iranian people and the Muslims and oppressed people in the region. So we appreciate that, and we pray for the betterness as well.
So, unity is the need of the hour, especially Shia and Sunni unity. So, in this regard, what is your say?
Actually, from the beginning of the Iranian revolution, we have been inviting all Muslims to stand together. The unity has been the Iranian slogan for the last 45 years. And we think that unless we are united, our people and nation will not be happy and prosperous. In Iran, there are some governments and non-government organizations which follow the goal for uniting Muslims. Each year we invite so many scholars to Iran so that they will be together, they will hear to each other, they will share their ideas with other participants. And the only goal is that we have a very profound civilization, we have a very profound legacy, and we are uniting all people around the corner to be united and to follow peace and harmony in the world. So my message is that from our perspective, there is no difference between Muslims, whether they are Shia, whether they are Sunni. We are all the flowers of the garden which Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam created, and we should be together. This is the only way, and the history has showed us this. The only conflict Iranian participated in the region was against those extremists who tried to murder our brothers and sisters in the region. Otherwise, we all are together and we shall value this.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank you so much.
हेलीकॉप्टर क्रैश में ईरान के सदर इब्राहिम रईसी और दीगर 8 अफराद के जाँ बहक होने पर बेंगलुरु की मस्जिद अस्करी में ताज़ियती इजलास मुनक़द हुआ। आज बतारीख 1 जून 2024 बरोज़ हफ्ता हुए इस इजलास में शिया और सुन्नी तबकों के नुमाइंदा उलमाए कराम व दानिश्वरों ने शिरकत की। हैदराबाद से आए ईरानी सिफारत खाने के कौंसल जनरल आगा महदी शाहरुखी की मौजूदगी में ये ताज़ियती इजलास मुनक़द हुआ। शिया उलमाए कराम के अलावा बेंगलुरु सिटी जामिया मस्जिद के खतीब व इमाम मौलाना मकसूद इमरान रशादी, जमात इस्लामी हिंद के अमीर हल्का डॉक्टर मोहम्मद साद बेलगामी, मौलाना वहीदुद्दीन खान उमरी, कर्नाटक मुस्लिम मुत्तहिदा महाज के नुमाइंदे इकबाल अहमद और दीगर मिली तंजीमों के नुमाइंदों ने इस इजलास में शिरकत की। 19 मई को हेलीकॉप्टर हादसे में ईरानी सदर इब्राहिम रईसी, वजीर खारजा आमिर अब्दुल्लाहीन और दीगर की मौत पर गहरे दुख व दर्द का इजहार किया गया। मौलाना मकसूद इमरान रशादी ने हाल ही में अपने ईरान दौरे का जिक्र करते हुए वजीर खारजा आमिर अब्दुल्लाहीन और दीगर से अपनी मुलाकात का तज़किरा किया। ईरान के सिफारतकार आगा महदी शाहरुखी ने कहा कि इस अजीम सानिया के बाद दुनिया भर से ताज़ियती पयामात मौसूल हुए हैं। खास तौर पर हिंदुस्तान से गहरे दुख व रंज का इजहार किया जा रहा है, जिसके लिए वो हुकूमत ईरान की जानिब से शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं। कौंसल जनरल ऑफ ईरान ने कहा कि अब तक जो रिपोर्ट मौसूल हुई हैं उनके मुताबिक ये एक हादिसा था जो ख़राब मौसम के बाइस पेश आया। इस हादिसे से यकीनन एक बड़ा नुकसान व खसारा हुआ है, लेकिन ईरान की पॉलिसियों ख़ास तौर पर फ़लस्तीन की हिमायत के मौक़िफ़ में कोई तब्दीली नहीं आएगी। फ़लस्तीन हो या कोई और मज़लूम कौम, ईरान मजबूती के साथ मजलूमीन के हक में आवाज़ उठाता आ रहा है और उठाता रहेगा। अंजुमन इमामिया बेंगलुरु के सदर सैयद जामिन रजा ने कहा कि ईरान के इस अजीम सानिया के दुख और दर्द में हिंदुस्तान व कर्नाटक के अवाम बिलखुसूस मुसलमान भी बराबर के शामिल हैं। जनूबी हिंद न्यूज़ रिपोर्ट।
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। from the tragic accident which claimed the lives of the President of Iran and Foreign Minister and their accompanies, the Iranian nation and government have been experiencing tough times. So the public affairs, the government issues have been back on the rail, fortunately, due to the instructions of Iranian constitution. The deputy of president, the first deputy, have been appointed as the interim head of the state, head of government, and the acting foreign minister took office. So we have been a nation who are doing better in tough times. During the crisis, the nation of Iran, the people of Iran are united, and we witnessed that during the mornings in the streets of Iran. Everybody realized that Iranian issues and affairs back on the rail. For the last couple of days, we have received so many condolences and tributes and contributions from so many friends all over the world, officials and individuals. In India, the government of India showed their friendship and brothership and their historical relations with Iran. They stayed one day state mourning, and they contributed in the functions. We are thankful to them. I personally received so many condolences, messages, statements. I thank each and everybody who stood with us in these difficult times. The Muslims, brothers and sisters here in Karnataka invited me to be among them in order to tribute to the deceased President and Prime Minister and their accomplishments. Again, I'm thankful and appreciate their support, their sympathy, and their contribution. We acknowledge that, and we pray to God that we can stand with you in your better days. Thank you very much.
There is a debate that is it conspiracy or accident. What do you say about this debate?
So, as you said, that the Iranian General Staff instructed an investigation team to look into the matter. Till now, they have collected all evidences around, and they issued 2 statements. It has been said that it was an accident. They could not find any action or attack from outside. So due to the bad weathers that day, because they were in the mountainous areas, so this accident happened, unfortunately, and we lost the beloved president and the deceased father when we received the final report from that investigation team.
This great tragedy, how Iran will continue, especially in directions of Palestinian support.
So today in my speech, I mentioned that the Iranian grand policies have always been stable. It is based on the Iranian constitution that one of the Iranians' duty is to stand with the oppressed people around the globe, whether they are Muslims or non-Muslims. We supported the late Nelson Mandela's movement fight against apartheid regime in South Africa, and we have been standing with Palestinian brothers and sisters. So we will witness no change in Iranian foreign policy in the cause and matter of Palestine. Of course, we have a democracy, we have different parties with their special perspectives. But one thing Iranians, all of Iranian parties agree on, and that is the support of Palestinian cause. Whether they are called reformists or conservatives, they are all united and inbound to support the cause of Palestine. Thank you.
MashaAllah.